Hey folks, I'm Melhorn. In this video, I'm going to go over my tackle bag that I carry both bank fishing and in the boat. It's actually made by Rig Wrap. I got one of these a while back and I started using it on the boat. It fits the way I fish. It's not super huge, but I like my stuff fairly compact, especially if I'm going bank fishing. I like something that will fit onto the boat. It's got a little mesh pouch on the outside you can put stuff into. This one has some scissors in it. You got to always have scissors. Plain and simple, you gotta have the scissors. I keep them on the boat. I keep them in my bank fishing backpack. I also keep some in here. You gotta have them. It's just way easier than trying to cut stuff with a knife. Also, keep a pair of glasses in here, just a pair of reading glasses in case I gotta tie some knots or read some text messages from you guys. Cool thing is here, it has a zipper around the outside. Opens up. And inside the top, there is another little mesh retainer pack here. I keep leader material in here. I use Andy. It's clear. This is 50 pound. And I don't... What's funny is I bought some of these leader spools before. And I use them. And I've used the leader material on them. But I end up buying a big spool, a half-pound spool of 50 pound clear monofilament that's not leader material. And I basically rewind it onto here and fill it back up because I'm somewhat of a cheapskate. But I like these little spools because they're convenient for keeping leader material in. So I like those things. So I keep one of those in here. And also got some other stuff. This is some fluorocarbon that I keep for some of the perch rigs, that kind of thing. A couple of different ones, some 20 pound if I need to downsize that leader material for some different fish, maybe some saltwater stuff. You can also put just pieces of loose leader material up in here like I've got on this one. So good little storage area in there. These are not normally in here. These are my Catfish Pro pliers, long-handled pistol grip, ergonomic design. CatfishPro.com has them on there listed. A very good pair of pliers that you need to have. They're longer. The part that makes these pliers different is how long it is right here. You've seen needle nose pliers. We've seen these that are cut back to about here. These really allow you to get down into a fish's mouth when they're deep hooked and get those hooks out. And if you're dealing with toothy fish, it's another thing. This is kind of the spread. This thing was originally designed to hold these boxes that you would tie up rigs and put them in there. Thus the name Rig Wrap. Each of these little boxes would hold an individual fishing rig. Inside of them, ignore what's in here now, would be these little spines that stick up on the top of this thing. You would tie your leader around this, hook would be in the middle, and you would close it. And you could put lures on there, you could put hooks, you could put swivel, put a Carolina rig, you could even, some of the larger ones, and they came in different sizes. You could have a Santee rig in here with a big peg float that was in the middle of it. I did not particularly like it because these were wrapped so tight with the leader material. When you unwound the leader, it was just kind of loopy and I didn't like it. But what I did like was the ability to go in with that pair of scissors, cut these little splines out and create a little box to put stuff in. In this case, it has slides in it, and I went crazy with the label maker, as you can see here. And I've got individual labels and everything. You can write on it with the Sharpie, which I did at one point. Went a little crazy with the label maker. And I got labels on it. This one has slides in it. These are just sinker slides that you can put under your line that allow you to rapidly change the size weight you have. A great little small little part of the toolbox to have, depending on how you're fishing, bank or boat fishing. Now you may ask, why don't you just use a typical tackle tray that you get at a bait and tackle store? You open it up, it's got little compartments, you can change the size of compartments. Well, here's what will happen if you have one of those, and this has happened to you if you've been fishing more than about 20 minutes. At some point you will have that tackle tray open sitting somewhere. Maybe it's on a bench, a stump, sitting on the boat. It's going to get knocked over. When it gets knocked over, every one of those little compartments with every different size hook, snap, swivel, every little thing gets dumped into the floor in 1,000 pieces. Now, when this one gets dumped into the floor, which will happen too, there's a lot less pieces to pick up is what it comes down to. These things hit the ground, they don't bust open, and you know, you're just picking these up, putting them back in. So that's the thing I like about this setup. It may not be for everybody, but for me, it works pretty good because I'm just clumsy enough to knock stuff over. More of what I got in here. Keep some swivels. You always need swivels, tying up Carolina rigs, just different kinds of rigs you're putting together. What size swivels? People ask about that all the time. They're about that big. I don't get maniacal on the numbers because it seems like the numbers mean nothing from one person to another. I run 30-pound line, so if I've got a swivel that's rated for 50 pounds, I'm good to go. I'm set. So it's good there. We've got some odd hooks. These are just ones that I just got thrown in here for different reasons. There's probably a kale hook. Yes, there's a kale hook in there. Got one of those. Treble hook. Yep, treble hook. Probably something I pulled off of maybe a trolling plug or something like that. So just some different little stuff in there. Some super big hooks. I'll keep some of these in there in a little separate one, some odd sizes. These are some outside barb hooks that I've experimented with. I've got some of these Catfish Pro hooks here too that are in individual packs. These are like 10-aught hooks. Normally I'm using 8s and 6s, 5s, even down to 3s when I'm catching some smaller channel catfish. These here I keep when I'm going for some really big bait. Again, Catfish Pro has those on their website, and they got them in bulk packs. I suggest you get the bulk pack just because you get a lot more in them, and it's a better bang for your buck. And then I keep snaps in here. These are snap swivels. These go on a drift rig. I'll show you an example of what a drift rig looks like. It's just a swivel with a little snap. Also got some little pegs here just to go into this floats that will be on the drift rig that I was showing you. And then a variety of circle hooks. Every one of these are circle hooks. 1 all the way through 8-aught. It's pretty much what I run are circle hooks. Occasionally I'll have something a little different. I've got some of these number 4 and I've got some number 10 or 6. These Aberdeen J hooks that I'll use on some of the perch rigs. But I also keep these. These are some octopus hooks, very small. These are number 8s. Get a bulk pack of these. These are from Eagle Claw. You can see in that picture there just how small that hook is, and we catch a lot of fish on those hooks. I think this is slightly smaller, than the octopus circle hook that Gamakatsu makes. A very hard hook to find, but I'll keep some of these loose packs in here again, a number 4 and some different little stuff. I've got a 3-way swivel in here. This is where I keep some of the loose stuff if I decide to try some kind of rig that has a 3-way on it. I also keep some drifting weights. This is on the drift rig I'm getting ready to show you. Carolina Lake weights. This is a flexible weight. It moves and bends. It goes on this rig, which is called a Santee rig. Hook on one end, a float that is on your leader material. I do it about 1/3 to 1/4 the length of the overall leader. And on the other end is that snap swivel I showed you earlier. The reason you got a snap on there is that so you can attach these weights onto there. This weight is flexible so that when you're drifting, trolling, it kind of goes across stuff and doesn't dig in. It stays on the bottom, and then it floats this up off the bottom with the float so that your bait suspended. It's a rig we use drifting for catfish. You can use it for striper. You can use it for catching flounder down at the beach. The variable there is, instead of a great big float that you would need for large baits, you go with smaller floats. So kind of match your hook and your float to the kind of bait that you're trying to suspend. Smaller the float, the better off you are. Just generally speaking, that is the way to go. The smaller you can get by with, the better you are all around in fishing. I keep some sinkers over here. I keep some of these smaller egg weight sinkers. These are some Walmart specials. You can actually get some good prices on at Walmart on some sinkers. These are ones that I use on some of the high-low rigs that I catch perch with, a little double hook rig. And those are a great little small sinker to go on the bottom. Also have some bigger ones. These are some 3-ounce no-roll bank sinkers that we use casting, putting baits on the bottom. It's not just for bank fishing. You can use them out of a boat. They work fine there too. And if you got a cast net, the cast net tears up. Save the weights out of a cast net. They got a hole in them that the rope goes through. They make great little disposable sinkers. Great way to recycle that stuff. And again, just I think that's about it in there. A variety of different floats. And there's room for other stuff depending on what you got. Like I said, the Catfish Pro pliers typically don't ride in here. They're usually in a backpack or in the boat, but they happen to be in here because I think I pulled this bag out of the boat to show it to you. Kind of a place for everything in its place. Stuff will fit into here very conveniently, and it's the way I go. It just gives me a compact way to put everything in one place, and I don't have to go digging through multiple bags, multiple tackle trays, multiple compartments on the boat to find stuff. And you know, I can put it in my bank fishing backpack. I can store it conveniently on the boat. It picks up, got a handle. It's a good little way to go. And that's kind of the tackle that I carry, just the stuff that's ready to play with. I'm sure there's some other stuff I probably overlooked. You'll see in the video at some point, but this is the basic tackle I carry, and I'll carry this bag both bank fishing and in the boat. I've actually got two boats, so I keep a duplicate bag of this in the other boat so I don't have to swap it back and forth. But when I go bank fishing, I go through a little more inventory of what's going on, making sure everything's in my backpack to go with. And we may have to break down the backpack and show that to you. I've done a video about one in the past, but we may have to do another one just to show you everything in that. So hopefully that gives you a little information on how I do it. You take all this and tailor it to how you're fishing and come up with a plan, a storage solution that works for you. And there's links to all this stuff down in the description.